welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is going to be my worst movies of 2018. Now, couple of disclaimers. I haven't seen many of the blockbuster movies this year. I tend to watch more indie movies, more straight-to-video stuff, straight-to-VOD. So the bulk of this list is going to contain those type of movies, and there are plenty of movies that I haven't seen. So this is my personal list rather than the de facto, this is the worst list of 2018. And like I said, there may be some omissions here, but it might be something that I haven't seen. This is based on my personal opinions, so let's go. Number 10, this is probably the biggest budget on this list. It is AntMan The Wasp. Now, not necessarily a bad film, but certainly the most disappointing. I've been, a big fan of the Marvel movies, and I'm a huge Marvel fan even prior to the films coming out. But this one was truly disappointing to me. I thought the actual story was weak. I thought the villain was very weak, and just didn't hold my interest. Now, I didn't see this one at the cinema. I saw it when it came out on Blu-ray because this one was out so late in the UK, but it really was such a step down, I thought, for the normal Marvel winning formula. Number 9 is a movie called Future World, who has James Franco was kind of behind this one, and he actually stars in this along with Mila Jovovich and Lucy Liu. So it's got a pretty decent cast, but it's kind of like a Mad Max sort of style post-apocalyptic movie. However, it makes the mistake of having the two most uninteresting and bland central characters in the movie, and as such becomes just a kind of a best of other kind of post-apocalyptic movies with two characters you simply don't care about. Number 8, 2036, Origin Unknown. This is kind of a movie that tries to recapture the style of 2001 Space Odyssey. You might even say it's a rip-off. It's a low-budget kind of cerebral sci-fi movie about Katie Sackhoff sitting in an office for the whole movie, talking to a CGI sort of AI robot and doing video conferencing with different people. Yup, it's pretty boring. This is one of the most dull movies I've ever had to sit through. Now, the more interesting thing with this movie is actually the comment section of my reviews, because it's become one of the most toxic comment section in all of my current videos, with people absolutely defending this movie to the hilt, and then others kind of hating it as much as I do. Now, I will say this movie does have some intelligent ideas. It's just so poorly executed and so uninteresting as a visual medium. I just think it's incredibly boring. People accuse me of not understanding this movie in that review. I didn't completely understand it. I just don't think it's executed very well. So that is 2036 Origin Unknown. Number 7, we have Immortal Wars. This is a kind of a low-budget attempt at a kind of superhero/science fiction movie. It's just all over the place. The special effects are terrible. The pacing is terrible. It's really underlit in the first kind of like portion of this movie. It's just uninteresting and kind of just too low budget for what it's trying to achieve. Number 6, we have Megalodon, not to be confused with the Meg. This is actually the Asylum kind of mockbuster of the Meg that stars Michael Madsen slumming it through as a military man who looks nothing like it. The frustrating thing with this movie, as it is a lot with the Asylum movies and kind of sci-fi movies in general, sci-fi and it's in the channel, they have it based on a creature, but the majority of the running time is taken up with some kind of human threat, this one being a couple of Russian spies on a ship. And we're not watching the movie for that reason, we're watching it for the Megalodon, which only has the scantest of screen time. I want to do its terrible CGI. So yeah, Megalodon was pretty disappointing. Number 5, I think, is a movie maybe a lot of horror film fans would have seen, and that is Death House. This was highly anticipated in the horror community because it brings together all of the horror icons, well not all, but a lot of them, into a kind of ensemble movie. However, the script is just all over the place. Sadly co-written by Gunnar Hansen, who's now passed away. It's an absolutely nonsensical farce of a movie that is just stitched together by just a bunch of scenes. It's underlit. The two main characters are boring. It doesn't make any sense. This CGI are terrible. It's just an altogether absolute dumpster fire of a movie. Number 4, we have The Bad Nun. Because this year we had The Nun, as in the Conjuring spin-off, there was a whole host of kind of like lower budget movies involving nuns. This is one of them. And in my review, I referred to this as the Bad Nun movie because it really is just a kind of a terrible kind of nun movie with just a boring premise ultimately, and yeah, just very cheaply put together with a kind of cast of amateurs, and yeah, a bad all-round movie. Number 3, we have Elves. This was actually a sequel to the movie Elf, although it really doesn't have anything to do with it, although it's touted as a sequel. The original Elf movie, and we're not talking about the Will Ferrell one, had a kind of elf kind of creature coming to life. This one, so for some reason we have like these elves affecting, possessing humans. It's just not interesting. It's a craply made horror movie by Justin Price. It looks like it was just kind of like banged out in a few days. Crap. Number 2, we have Assassin's Revenge. This one is trying to ape the kind of the style of Sin City, a kind of noirish, almost like a superhero film, but it just looks like a bunch of things have been bundled together from cuts from existing movies and sort of stitched together with some narrative. It just doesn't work. There's no through kind of narrative in this. The style's all over the place, and it's pretty damn terrible. Number 1 is another Nun movie. This one, Bloody Nun. And this one was the barest of, you know, I feel I'm picking on this one because it's such a kind of an amateur movie about a kind of a group of ghost hunters that go into this house to try and commune with this kind of ghost of a nun. It's just ridiculously bad. I mean, this one is the sort of movie that you would would be perfect for a kind of a bad movie night, but it's just so terrible. Yeah, I mean, it's a low-budget film, but there are plenty of low-budget films that do a better job, with a better story, you know, actors who can act and aren't just annoying the shit out of you for an hour in this movie, which is basically the first hour of this movie, is, you know, annoying kind of faux YouTube celebrities. So that's my list. I'm sure most of you haven't heard of many of these, because these, majority of them at least, are kind of straight-to-video movies, but there were some bad ones this year, I'm not going to lie. So there you go. Now check out my best of list as well, which is also on the channel, or it should be at any time soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.